Hi, Mini Beanies, and welcome to our podcast. If you enjoy some of the songs you hear in our stories, then head to our YouTube channel. It's full of music videos so you can sing and dance along with us. They're lots of fun, and there's a lot of different dances and nursery rhymes too. Just head to youtube.com/@thebeanies. Now on with the show.
Hi, Mini Beanies! It's the Beanies here.
That means you're with
Laura, Mim.
and Michael.
Today we might meet a magical genie.
Learn how to make bubbles.
Or jump like a frog. But we know that we'll hear from Professor Know-It-All.
Hello, Beanies. Let's get on with the show.
Yay!
Get you.
Come back here, Bubble.
Come on.
Gotcha.
Come on.
Bubble, bubble.
Oh, hi, Mini Beanies. We didn't see you there. We've been spending all morning chasing bubbles.
Oh, come back here. Get back here, Bubble. Guys, I caught another one. Gosh, I think I love Bubbles more than anything else in the world. I don't think you'd ever love Bubbles more than Betty Bubble Butt.
Who?
Betty Bubble Butt. Betty Bubble Butt loved Bubbles. She loved Bubbles more than anyone in her family, which was a lot, since they were named after Bubbles. Betty thought about Bubbles wherever she went. She would think about Bubbles on the bus. I bet if I blew a bubble through a window, I could make a giant bubble. She would think about Bubbles in the shower. I bet if I blew a bubble through a tiny needle, I could make a tiny one. She even thought about Bubbles when she slept. I wonder if I could blow a bubble through a bubble. One day, Betty was in her garden and came across a funny-looking rock. This is so pretty. It has blue and purple and... foot! It wasn't a rock at all. Betty threw the thing across the grass and with a puff of violet smoke, a frog appeared. But it wasn't just any frog.
Careful there.
You talk?
Of course, all magical frogs talk.
Well, yeah, I guess you're right.
I am the wondiferous, stupendous, magically explosive Doug. And every person that discovers me is owed 3 magical requests.
Ooh, you mean like 3 wishes?
No, request.
But isn't a request just the same as a...
Only requests. Wishes are copyrighted.
Betty thought long and hard. How do I know you're a good magic frog? What if you turn me into a fly and eat me?
You don't. How about you try it out? Request for something small.
Okay, I request a cupcake.
Your, request is my command!
Out of nowhere, a giant cloud of sparkly smoke appeared about Betty and the frog, and poof! A cupcake appeared between them. Wow! I can't believe it.
Told ya.
Betty felt butterflies in her stomach and prickles on her skin. Oh, the possibilities! The endless requests she could make. But what could she wish for? Fame, fortune, clones, a giant house? I wish Bubbles never popped! Really?
Really? Well, your request is my command.
The magic cloud of sparkles appeared again and then settled around them.
Bubbles are happy for sure. They float near your nose and drift out the door. Bubbles are full of laughter and glee. Bubbles float up high, happy and free.
I see a bubble on a leaf. Let's blow more bubbles into the sky. When I blow my bubbles, they float into the sky. And we don't know quite where they go, because they get so high. Let's go blow some bubbles. Come on, everyone. We'll make some pretty bubbles and we'll have a lot of fun. Everything looked the same. Did it work?
I guess you'll have to find out.
Betty rushed over to her kitchen sink and made a quick bubble mixture out of soap and water. She grabbed a nearby bubble wand, she always had one close by, and blew the biggest bubble she could. Betty smiled. She loved watching the bubbles bounce and dance around the air. So graceful and pretty and... Focus, Betty. Oh, sorry, of course. Let's see if you pop, little bubble. She held her finger out to pop it and... it just bounced back. The bubble didn't pop. Oh my goodness! The talking frog was right. This is amazing! Betty spent the next hour blowing bubbles and admiring them bouncing around. This was the best day ever!
This is the best day ever!
Get your... There he is.
Shiny.
There it is. Yeah.
Come back! Ooh. Come back, you silly bubbles.
Come on. There.
I think my bubble's singing a song. It's gotta sing quick, 'cause it won't last for long. Bubbles are full of rainbows and light. Bubbles are a true bubbly delight. When I blow my bubbles, they float into the sky. And we don't know quite where they go, because they get so high. Let's go blow some bubbles. Come on, everyone. We'll make some pretty bubbles and we'll have a lot of fun. Betty was so tired from playing with the bubbles, she thought she'd better take a nap before playing some more. But she looked around her house and realised, with all the bubbles she'd blown, she couldn't really get into her bedroom.
Oh, no, okay.
Betty thought maybe she'd better just take a nap outside. After all, it was a lovely day, and she could say thank you to the magic frog for granting her wish. I mean, request. Sorry.
This looks like a nice spot.
Betty thought, snuggling up in her garden. I'll just rest here in the sunshine and... oh. And Betty fell asleep.
They won't pop. They won't pop.
Betty woke up with a start. Who was screaming? What was happening?
Betty, what's happening? Why won't the bubbles pop?
Betty realised it was her neighbour, Jenny Jellybones, yelling at her. But that wasn't the weirdest thing Betty realised. She'd woken up on a cloud of bubbles.
Oh, goodness, what's happening?
Betty, I was doing the dishes, and the bubbles just kept multiplying, and I could hear down the street there was a bubble path, which has taken over the whole house. Next thing we knew, we were up here, above the houses.
Betty gasped. She realised that she was actually metres and metres above her garden. She squished along the bubble cloud, and she could see her house. It looked so tiny.
What are we gonna do, Betty? What if the bubbles never pop and we are pushed into outer space?
Betty knew she had to find the magic frog. After all, if he could stop the bubbles popping, maybe he could make them pop again. Betty boinged along the bubble cloud, over the supermarket, over the school, and even over the dog park. She'd almost given up when she spotted a tiny green shape bouncing joyfully over what she realised was her back garden.
My bubbles bring all the frogs to the yard, and they're like...
Magic frog!
have to make the bubbles pop.
I will need that requested.
Fine. I request that the bubbles pop. Betty wiped the dampness from her face, and she heard a giggle. It was her neighbour, Jenny. Jenny was standing over Betty, blowing bubbles on her face.
I saw you sleeping in the garden and thought you might want to see my new bubble kit.
How did we get down here so fast?
What are you talking about, silly? We've been down here napping for hours.
Oh, I guess I have. Jenny blew a big bubble and it floated right past Betty's face. It was so pretty. Oh, goodness, I guess it was all a dream. But I'll pop this bubble just to be sure. Betty took a deep breath and held up her finger, and Betty smiled. Even though she loved bubbles, maybe popping them was the best part.
The end.
Can you imagine if our world was made of bubbles?
That would be so fun. Boing.
Except when they pop underneath you and you come crashing down.
Yeah, that might hurt your bottom.
Bottom. Guys, I wonder how Betty made her bubbles. In the story, it said that she made them in the sink.
I bet Professor Know-It-All will know.
Hello, mini beanies.
Ooh, bubbles.
Yeah, Professor, that's why we called you. Can you teach us how to make bubbles?
Of course. I love bubbles.
Really? But they're so fun.
Don't you think I'm fun?
Well...
The best way to make bubbles at home is in the kitchen sink. Just like Betty. You'll need some help putting a little bit of water into the bottom of the sink. Then put a few squirts of dishwashing liquid in there as well. And swish it around.
Blech. Got soap in my mouth.
And try not to swish so hard that you splash it out of the sink. Next, you'll need to make your own special bubble wand. You can make this out of any hard, bendable material. Today we're going to use some pipe cleaners.
Fuzzy.
Twist your pipe cleaner into a circle. Then use another to make a straight handle.
Mine looks like a big knot.
If you're having trouble, you can always ask for help from an adult. Next, dip the circle end of your new wand into the soap mixture and...
Wow! Oh, look at that one! That was so big. Get it! Bubbles!
I'm glad you like them, Beanies. Now don't go too far chasing the bubbles now. Beanies? Beanies?
Oops, sorry, Mini Beanies, we got too distracted chasing bubbles.
Maybe you can make your own bubble mixture today.
Or have a bubble bath. Or blow bubbles while you're swimming.
Or sing a song about bubbles. Wait, we can do that right now.
Hit it!
Bubbles are happy, happy for sure. They float near your nose and drift out the door. Bubbles are full of laughter and glee. Bubbles float up high, happy and free.
I see a bubble on a leaf, watching the children beneath. They disappear in the blink of an eye. Let's blow more bubbles into the sky. When I blow my bubbles, they float into the sky. And we don't know quite where they go, because they get so high. Let's go blow some bubbles. Come on, everyone. We'll make some pretty bubbles and we'll have a lot of fun. It's gotta sing quick, 'cause it won't last for long. Bubbles are full of rainbows and light. Bubbles are a true bubbly delight. When I blow my bubbles, they float into the sky. And we don't know quite where they go, because they get so high. Let's go blow some bubbles. Come on, everyone. We'll make some pretty bubbles and we'll have a lot of fun.
Bye, Mini Beanies.
And remember, you need rain to have a rainbow.
You need night to see the twinkling stars.
And you can learn something new every day if you remember to listen.
A big Beanies goodbye from us.
Bye-bye.
Bye!
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye!
Bye now.
The Beanies' beautiful tunes were written by the Beanies and the magnificent James Court. Ha ha ha.